Hey, what's going on, guys? AjEvolutio here. AjEvolutio here, back with another natal chart reading. I'm here with WhoEli. We're gonna collab on Sexy Red's natal chart.
What's
And
good, everybody? It's WhoEli360.
yeah, yeah. Bro, it's crazy how like her sun is conjunct her Saturn. So like her like ways of just like being, it's like already like she probably don't even have to think about like how she like structures her like identity and things like that. Like how she could like capitalize on like her like actions in the world. Cause like it's like so close together to where it's like the way she like builds things is like intertwined with her identity. So it's like crazy how her image is like based on like the Aries type thing of being like vulgar or like very like desire type based or like very like forward pushing, like forward movement. But then she's
Right.
also able to build on top of that with that Saturn there. Like, bro, that plays out kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is that is essential in her chart. And with it being in Aries as well, like she's experiencing a lot of yeah, that's how she really like built her position in life. And with her being into music, that's just gonna add that extra, the extra spark to it, the extra emphasis to it. Because with that Saturn being on her sun, and with both those being in Aries, it's gonna be like, okay, the way that she see and the way that she present herself, it's gonna be through the filtering system of Saturn. So she's gonna be presenting herself in like this way of, her status, her popularity and what she's trying to broadcast. And like you just said, what it being in Aries, it's gonna be vulgar, and it's gonna be what's desired. And I can kind of see how the industry can kind of capitalize off of her energy just by that placement alone. They're going to be putting her in these positions so that she can kind of express that vulgarness and express herself in that magnitude with her being sexy red, because I'm sure everybody's kind of familiar with who she are and like her identity and the type of music she makes. Her music is like kind of sexualized. So with that being said, just like off of this alignment with the sun and Saturn, that's automatically it's going to tap her into the space of being presented in that image, and being the face of that image and being the authority figure of that image.
Right. And then too, like, I don't know if her Mars would be considered her house lord because it's in Taurus, but it's in the 10th house, and then Aries is on the MC cusp. So like majority of the 10th house is Aries. So you could say that her house lord, her 10th house lord is in the 10th house. So it'd be like she would have like control over that area, like how she's seen and things like that. And how you said she could be utilized like for that type of like sexual type of image. It would be like I feel she would still be able to like keep her like reins on herself, so to say. So like she wouldn't be made to do something she didn't want to do. Like she still has say so like in her own like being and things like that, like
Right.
in relationship with other people. So like
Right.
that's hard, bro. That's hard.
Yeah, and adding on to that, we know that Mars is exalted in the 10th house as well. And with Aries being there and Saturn being there,
Yeah.
they're gonna be, they're gonna be utilizing her light and her image. They're gonna put that in like an exalted position. So we may see her, well, we've been seeing her a lot, being in our faces a lot. So this is what they're gonna be putting in our faces with Mars being there as well in Taurus. This is what they're gonna be putting in our faces. They're gonna be like, okay, sexy red this, sexy red that, sexy red this. They're gonna be putting her image in our face because with it being exalted in the 10th house, it's kind of like the image they're trying to, like get all the female artists. Like she's gonna be playing out the example of what they want all the female artists to start, presenting themselves as,
Right.
being in this industry and being in the same lane as her as well. So yeah, she got some powerful alignments. I feel like if she wasn't so plunked out into the world, she can actually be, well, I mean, she got some powerful alignments. just looking at that Mars in that 10th house, the Aries in that 10th house, she may go through a lot of struggles and power control issues when it comes to her status in her career and how she align it with her passions and her motivations and her goals and her desires. So that's maybe something she may deal with a lot in her life. Those issues, having to go through that transformation and having to go through those transitions. And she also got, I see that she got Mercury there as well. So a little small stellium there in her 10th house, but that's kind of like on a cusp between the 10th and the ninth house.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like her blending that her blending her morality and what she learned and what she's educated on with her status in her career and what she's trying to broadcast and her reputation. And the way that's going to be processed through her Mercury, it's going to be through her sexual desires and her passions and her motivations and her goals. So that's going to be adding an extra emphasis on her image as well and the way that she's presenting herself in this reality.
Yeah, yeah. And then too, with that Uranus sextile to her Mercury, with like it's a tight orb, only like 1 degree difference. Um, like her relationships and things like that, it only adds fuel to like all that you were saying before with like utilizing her Mercury and like her morality systems and like the blending of that with her status. Because like Uranus would be like flashes of insight or like being able to like come up with like a new way of talking about like something that everybody else has already talked about, like that revolutionary type energy or like individuating yourself from the group. So like her Mercury like has access to like be able to like pick up those types of those energies from like her relationships and be able to like take that into her status as well.
Yeah. Ours are Uranus, in Aquarius. I
Yeah, and
see
the
it.
seventh.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So when it does come to the way that she relate and how she conduct her relationships, it's like she surround herself around individuals. She surround herself around like out there, individuals that's already out there, that's already like known for some things that she's known for, and like individuals that's already like I'm gonna say like got this sense of rebellious to the social norms. Like the way that like the relationships that she likes to establish is she gonna be in a relationship with somebody that's already have their own uniqueness and into an individuality, conducted. So she's gonna be feeling more comfortable in catering towards that energy. She's not really going to be, wanting to relate to anybody that's, that upholds the status quo. She's going to be more willing to relate to individuals that's out there, that's already like in some of these positions that have this sense of individuality.
Yeah, and then to add on to that about like her wanting to relate to like unique individuals with Neptune being there, there got to be like a type of like dreamy type element to it, like a type of like fantasy to like the relationship. Like it's got to
Right.
be like enticing like to the imagination as well. And like, bro, I got this right here. It made me like think of that her placement. It's like a 10 of ties tarot card. It's got like it's like abstract, like it's like the sea or like a rainbow and things like that. But like this is probably what she wanted her relationships to look like. But
Yeah.
then too, I've also heard that with Neptune, like being in like whatever house it's in, it like weakens it as well. So it could be like the negative octave of Neptune. So being like in a delusion or something when it comes to like her like relationships and things like that. Maybe like a sense of trust is there that like dare I say like shouldn't be there or just like it would be like not beneficial to be there, you know? Maybe not like a trustworthy individual. And
Right.
that would tie into what you're saying about like unique type people or like out there type people. Like shit, maybe everybody that's out there might not be trustworthy. You know what I mean?
Right. She
And
might be related to, like some dopes or something. And
yeah,
that's kind of and what you just said with Neptune weakening the house, that's also gonna be, debilitating her image and her status and what she wants to be known for if she don't really understand that energy and how to craft that energy in a sufficient way. Because That's gonna create a set style. So she's gonna have these opportunities. She's gonna be manifesting a lot of opportunists as well, and she's gonna be seen as an opportunity. So if she don't really check that energy and she kind of fall victim to that alignment, she may end up putting a blemish on her status solely because the people that she's in relation to, they don't have nothing, they don't bring nothing to offer. They don't really help her status in a way. They don't really, like help her with what she's known for, and they're just there, just to like kind of like drain her energy or something.
Right.
Or yeah,
Yeah, and then to add on to that, what you're saying too, um, even her seventh house lord is in the 10th house. So it would be like, even the way she presents herself, it'll like be like a perpetuating type of situation. Like everything you just said, along with how she presents herself, would like attract those type of relationships that you was talking about. So it's really dependent on how she chooses to like initiate herself. So like, because
right,
everything
right.
from like the 7th house is like has an influence of the what's going on in the 10th house as well, based off of like the sex tiles you was talking about, and then also because the 7th house lord is in the 10th house, Saturn. And that's kind of crazy. But
Yeah, that is crazy because we know what just happened to her. Like she really just got exposed for some shit like that. That's kind of crazy. Like
yeah,
she literally just manifested this alignment into her life.
yeah. And then now I just thought about that when we're looking at this chart right now. Her Chiron in Scorpio. I haven't like read about Chiron and Scorpio too much, so like, but I would have like my assumptions would be like that may be like a theme of like Chiron and Scorpio, like having like a type of like something very private to you, like being like mishandled or something like that. So like her like little sex tape leaked or whatever, and like that could be like a Chiron and Scorpio type theme, where like something
Yeah,
like private to you is able to like cut you or something and like really hurt you, like something be leaked like that. And then the fact that that Chiron is on the fourth, fifth house cusp, so it's like that home nature, like her internal world and shit, like her emotions and things like that, that she probably had like towards whatever like that was going on in that situation, like being shown on the fifth house and like her like status or like not status, but like I was trying to think of like fifth house words, like
yeah.
like her
I get what you're
persona or
saying.
whatever.
Yeah, all that. What was behind the scenes and beneath the surface coming to the light now, and
Yeah.
that actually exposing her. And she's having to correct those mistakes when it comes to that Chiron being in Scorpio. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like it started from like a fourth house area, a private space, having that private connection, and then activating that Chiron and Scorpio, what was behind the scenes and underneath the surface coming to the light. And that being her having to, her being seen as that image now, her being gaining some form of traction and attention from what she has been privy to that was a mistake when it comes to her sexual desires and alternative motives. With that playing out and her moon being there as well in the fifth house in Sagittarius, and with Pluto being there as well, right now she's kind of like in a position of, having to, take power and control over that and transform that now. So it's kind of like it can be kind of beneficial if she know how to utilize this energy. Like she can use that to capitalize in a way. Like, okay, my set state just lead. Now I'm finna gain some form of traction and revenue from this that can kind of benefit my image because with Sagittarius being there, creating that trine with her 10th house, with her Sun and Saturn and Mercury, she can kind of have access to this ability to be like, okay, my mistakes, I can get my mistakes and I can kind of capitalize off my mistakes through this transformation of my ego and my self-identity so that it can resonate more with my status and what I'm trying to broadcast. So yeah.
Yeah. And then with like how you said, like capitalize off of that with that moon and Pluto being in the fifth house, um, like creating like a new type of like moral justification as to like in relation, moral justification in relation to her like emotional stance, like on the situation. And then two, like to help her with that, bro, she has a good chart, bro. Like her chart is crazy because her ninth house lord is in the ninth house as well, that Jupiter in Pisces. So like the type of meaning she would like give to that situation, like it could be like very like out there, like dreamy type, like something you couldn't like probably think of with the logical mind, like some type of like fantasy like type of like morality or something, right? Something like because like with the imagination you could go far, like you could go like farther than like logic or like writing things down and things like that. So like with
Right.
that Jupiter and Pisces, like that moral system, like that she would place upon the like the whole situation that just happened, like it would be something like so creative where she could create a status on it, like how you were saying, and like
Yeah.
something that could like, oh dude, and then it's even crazier that we have Saturn and Pisces right now, because she could really like bring that whatever type of like dream or like a illusion type of morality she placed upon that and bring it into reality. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I can start this point out as well. Hold on one second, one second.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep it going while he's gone. But that Venus in Pisces being exalted too, conjunct Jupiter, like the type of like creativeness that could be expanded upon, or her creativeness can be expanded upon to like vast levels. So like I was talking about before, her morality that she would place on that situation, or just like on art in general, would be like expanded like, I'm just throwing a number out there, but like times 10, because of Jupiter being there and Jupiter dealing with like expansion and like wanting to like have like one thought that encapsulates everything. So like having that type of like a one liner that could like have many nuances and like many like realms of exploration. I was
I'm back.
talking, now you good. I was talking about how her Venus is conjunct her Jupiter and like how her like artistic natures would be like expanded upon and like how she could use that for that situation that just happened with her sex tape as well. And like how damn, yeah,
I
just
heard
like
someone
yeah,
saying, I
you
heard
go.
what you saying.
No, I had another point, but I forgot it right now. You can take it. You go ahead.
He was talking about how she can have like one thought or like one metaphor that can kind of like
Oh,
encapsulate the whole energy
yeah,
when it comes to her experiences with that Jupiter being in the ninth house and then also being her ninth house lord.
yeah,
And with the event she just went through, with her sex tape being leaked, her utilizing that experience and encapsulating that the meanings and the reasons from that, she can kind of use that for her advantage and have like a natural inclination and access to that energy, so that if she does choose to express a metaphor or put that in like a creative format, like it'll come across more positive than it was negative.
yeah. Because it'll be that higher angle, that Jupiter, and then it would have that hint of Venus on it as well. So it'd be like it would be relatable because it has that hint of Venus, but the way it would come out, it would still be Aries. So it would still be raw and like it would be
Right.
like raw and vulnerable as well. Like because like the fact that she would like say something on it, or if she does say something on it, like even if it's like in like a very aggressive type way that she speaks on it, like that would be seen as like vulnerable as well. Damn, that's crazy.
And you know, Aries don't really care. Aries don't really care about what they say. As long as they express that feeling, as long as they express it, that's all that really matters to Aries. So I feel like
Yeah,
she got kind of she's like that too. I've seen a couple of her interviews. She seems like a really genuine person, honest person, upfront, real blunt and raw and authentic with it. So I feel like that adds to her character as well. And with her ascendant being in her ascendant being in Cancer,
Yeah.
her ascendant being Cancer, is going to add an extra sense of comfortability around the actions that she decides to make. So, um, with her being in that space of that cardinal water being her ascendant, a lot of things that she developed from her personal life and her upbringing may come from, the type of environment that she was in, the type of home she was in. So that's going to be playing a lot. That's going to be playing out through her actions as well, and that's also going to be playing out through her, her persona.
Yeah. And then with that, her son squaring that, her ascendant, like how he was talking about how like her home life being like shown into her like her persona and things like that. It's like a sort of like tension of like how does she like bring that what she like picks up on initially, what she picked up on initially in her childhood and things like that. And also just like what she picks up on in like the daily, like picking up on like cancer type things, like maybe like seeing the vibe in a room, seeing how like people's emotional states like influence their the way they relate and things like that. Like basically being having like emotional intelligence and like reading the room and like
Yeah,
being able to integrate that into the airy sun of, oh, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and like all that type of shit. Um, it could be like I mean, it is like a learning process because it's the square, but like it adds a sense of that how he was talking about like genuineness, and then also like to support that Venus in Pisces and Jupiter in Pisces, like it's like a type of compassion as well of like knowing how to connect and relate and things like that. So her like she could really like she probably knows how to like when to use like the aggressive natures of Aries, like when not to. Like she probably learned that like early on in life with that square of the ascendant and the sun.
yeah, I can see how that plays out as well too. Um, I'm gonna add on to what you was just talking about with that, with her ascendant making that trine with her Jupiter and her Venus. So personally, she's experienced a lot of experiences that she had to, she's probably experienced a lot of experiences where she had to be the wiser person in the room and have the broader outlook when it comes to what's being what we're being aware of when it comes to the things dealing with travel and expansion, because with Jupiter being, we know that ninth house deals with travel and expansion. So with that, making that trine with her ascendant, she's people is going to be looking at her as the individual of, okay, what's the next action do we need to take in order for us to grow from this current circumstance that we're in? What's the next action that we need to take? So she kind of got like this role of being like the leader, and but she may not know how to really go about that, because with her son squaring that, they may cause a little frustration and a little turbulence, and it may challenge her. But they may also be the challenge that she need in order for her to develop those capabilities and have that genuine way of expressing herself, and that raw and authentic way of expressing herself. So that can kind of play out in her life as well. With her being an Aries sun, she kind of sees that, okay, people's looking at her on what to do. She's kind of like got like this kind of example energy, and she may not know how to fully feel comfortable with going for that energy, but she knows that this is something that she has to do, because Aries got like this sense of, okay, if this is aligned with my mission, then no matter what it looks like, I'm gonna make sure that I do it. I'll make sure that I'm taking those steps to get closer to my goal and my mission.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. I feel that. And then too, uh, to add on what you were saying about like her being like in the leader role and like how like she might not want to do it. I was watching an interview of her and Theo Vaughn, and she was talking about how like she was make music like for her friends and things like that. and like she just started like popping because like everybody was sending it around or whatever, and like how people just started booking her for stuff, and like how she didn't even like really try to like be a rapper, so to say. It just kind of like happens like just for like her like being in her natural energies and things like that, like doing what she wanted to do, like for fun and things like that. But then while you was talking about that, like her being like pushed into that leader role, it made me think about like when did she start popping? Because I want to know if there was like a correlation between like the North Node shifting from Taurus to Aries, and like if that played a role in like her like pushing herself out there, or like not even pushing herself out there, but like things being like brought to her to like for her to push herself out there. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
it just kind of like happened, bro. That's crazy. Like because the North Node is like it's like right there on her sun right now, or on her Saturn. I think it's like 24 degrees right now. But well, bro, that's crazy. Because I only started hearing about her like I don't know, maybe about like 7 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, if that. I don't know how long she's been like popping or whatever.
yeah. I see how that plays out as well. That's when I really started to recognize her as well, like 6, 7 months ago. And I seen an interview. I seen one of her interviews with Lil Yachty, and I think she said something similar. Is that she said something similar like that as well? She's kind of crazy. Oh no, the Aries don't really. Aries don't really care
What'd
for
you say?
real.
What'd you say?
It's like she was just like she got two dudes she fucked with who were both in jail. Like Aries don't really care for real, man. They just themselves. Like I respect it. I respect it for real.
Yeah, bro. I be thinking. I just thought like I don't know, probably like a couple months ago or a month ago. Like Aries energy is like probably like I say this with like loosely, but like the easiest way to like take on life. Cause like how you was talking about earlier, like how Aries just like wants to get the feeling off. They just want to birth. They just want to like take like what is in and like push it out and like deal with like the rest later. And like think about like how like a lot of like I want to say like traumas and like different types of like illnesses are like caused by like holding things in. So like the fact that Aries is like able to like just push out and like just handle life that way is like is like it, I see it as like making life easier and things. But you know, everything has their like gifts and curses. But like, bro, I just appreciate that Aries energy for real.
Yeah, for real. And like for her career right now, say somebody that's in her team come across one of these videos and they kind of don't know what to do with the situation that she's in now. They should take some advice of what you just said. Like seriously, like okay, she just had this happen to her, but that's gonna if we don't do nothing about it, that's gonna create more stagnant energy, and that's gonna enable her ability to create and initiate new things. So like kind of blocking her and preventing her from creating and making more music and producing more, it's gonna kind of enable her from actually expressing herself to the fullest potential because of that Aries energy. It's all about newness. It's all about transformation. It's all about transmutation. So if we don't allow her to kind of like accept what she's done and just be like, you know what, fuck it, let's go make some more twerking music. Let's go make some more shaking ass music. Let's go make some more, turn up music. If we don't give her that grace, we don't give her that grace, then that's where we're gonna see the kind of like the fall of that Saturn being in Aries. We're gonna see the fall of that Saturn being in Aries. We're gonna see the downfall of Sexy Red because we're not giving her the that grace to express her sexuality. We're not giving her that grace to express her desires. We're not giving her the grace to express herself in that raw, authentic Aries way.
Yeah, like I see it as like how you just said, like being able to utilize all that she's been through. Whenever I think of like people like taking control of like their life and like things they have been through, I see it like it's like a movement, right? So it'd be like like you just like grab everything and like keep on going, just like, you know? like just like
Yeah,
taking hold of something.
right, right. That's kind of what this chart is symbolizing for us for real. Like just keep it
Yeah,
pushing, keep going.
I
Yeah,
was observing like how she like all her planets on like one side of the chart, and I was thinking about like how it plays out with like the way she pushes out energy and things like that, with like her like planets being like kind of concentrated, because like she don't got nothing in the first, second, third, fourth, 12th, 11th, and then I don't know if that Venus is in the ninth or the eighth. Oh damn, I think it's in the eighth. This is that little line right there.
yeah, I see it. Yo,
It's on that cusp though. So, but still though, like with her having like all those empty houses, like those are like areas of like learning and things like that. And then with that, oh damn, I was about to say her 11th and her third house, those house rulers being Mercury, like that adds to like her but I don't think her 11th is in Gemini though. It starts in Taurus. So that would be Venus. So I'm just going off of her third house, like the way she communicates and things like that. Like it has like there's an influence of like her status and how she presents herself. So like then I don't know if I had a point there, but I was just hoping like I would throw something out.
I
But
get what you're saying. What you're
yeah,
saying. Yeah, that's all. That's actually that's correct for real. Because with her third house, with Mercury being a ruler of her third house, and that's what she needs to kind of like surround herself around. Because we know that the third house is with our friends, our friendships, our community, and our environment, and what we surround ourselves with. So that can also help her with that third house arena. Um, Understanding that house lord would have been in her 10th house. So she knows that she needs to be around individuals that share like-minded interests when it comes to things that deals with her status in her career and what she chooses to broadcast that can kind of help her reputation. So yeah, that's kind of like where her mentality, her mental focus needs to be on.
yeah, and then too to add on to that, what you were saying, like with her friends being like able to help her with her status and things like that, it would have to be like um people that are able to embody that Virgo energy. So like being able to like nitpick and like be like, oh, you shouldn't do this because XYZ might happen, or like you should take this job because that will lead you to down like XYZ roads, whatever. That'll open XYZ doors. So
Right,
like
right.
being able to like piece out different pieces of earth, so to say, like condense down logic and like things that are actually tangible and like basically act like kind of like a setup for her to like dunk the ball, so to say, like giving her like
Yeah.
all like the information that she needs to know.
Yep. Yep.
But I'm gonna look up her chart on another website because I really want to see her north node.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because whenever he was talking, I forget what she was talking about, but like I had that thought. I was like, oh, he was talking about her being like a leader and like being like forced into that role or like being called to that role. Uh, like that made me want to look up her north node to see like where she is being called to, to uh, like evolve in life, so to say.
Yeah. I just noticed something too. She got the same alignments as Dolo. She got every sun, Sag Moon.
Oh yeah.
So she's kind of like the female representation of Dolo in a way. But she got that Cancer ascendant. The Cancer ascendant kind of water it down. If she had like a fire ascendant, then we'll fully be seeing like how she's kind of like, out there with it.
Yeah. I see it as like Damn, I think that's the only website that has her uh birth chart. I don't see nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was looking forward to North Node Virgo, South Node Pisces. But what house is it? What house is it in though?
Oh, that's
Like,
it. North Node Virgo.
oh, yeah, North Node Virgo, South Node
Okay.
Pisces.
Yeah, it would either be in the second or the third house, that North Node. Or does it? Do you know what degree it is?
Oh no, they ain't give me no degree or nothing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that would add on to like that we was talking about. Damn, you said something. Okay, I'm gonna say this first because I had two things I was gonna wanted to say. But how you saying like she's like the female manifestation of like Dolo's energies? Like she is like she shows like the ways of like disconnecting from a feeling like how Dolo does. And like but she still has like a ties with that Cancer ascendant and that Jupiter and like Pisces Venus to like connect on like an emotional level and like be like a sort of like compassionate figure. I don't listen to her music that much, so I don't know if she shows any compassion in her music. But maybe like that Venus is in the eighth house, so it's probably like only in intimate connections where she shows that type of like grace and like compassion and like unconditional love and things like that. Like you probably have to be really close to her in order to like reach that part of her, which she probably has with that Chiron and Scorpio. So like
I'm gonna add on to what you just said.
yeah, yeah.
That's actually kind of true for real because the interview the interview that I had watched with her and Lil Yachty, she was coming across as like a genuine, compassionate person, but her music her music is like she's her actual life. She's this character, like she's like this compassionate character. She's this caring person. But when it comes to her music, she shows this different side of herself. When it comes to her music, she shows this more raw and authentic side of herself. But I feel like when it comes to her actual life, she's actually a person that's actually caring and loving and compassionate. Due to that, Venus being in her 8th house, she's actually an intimate person in actuality. And I feel like it can kind of blur the lines a little bit when it comes to how she makes her music because I listen to her music. I heard a couple of her songs. It's like her music is real vulgar. It's real explicit. And it doesn't really have like a filtering system behind it.
Yeah,
I can kind of see how she's kind of transmuting that Venus energy through her Mercury and her Sun would have been in Aries.
right. I started laughing when you said she has vulgar music. I thought it was like, what she say? She was like, my coochie pig, my booty hole brown.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and like it's even crazy too. Her Mercury is on her MC, so like just the way she communicates in her words, like it's already like known that's what she's known for, right? Like that's the reason why we're talking about her, like that Mercury on the MC. I mean, along with everything else, but like that's like a big factor.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking about and I forget what you said that made me look at it, but that Moon and Pluto in the fifth house, like having that type of like deep emotional connection and like being able to like live in like the subconscious basically, like with her internal world, like being conjunct Pluto, um, like that adds to like the fuel that she would like obtain like to like speak upon with that Aries in the 10th house. So meaning like she probably had like a bunch of like volatile and like tumultuous emotions, like very like chaotic. So like that gives like images of like making new connections with like aggressive or violent or like uh maybe even like perverted type like thoughts and things like that. So like
Yeah, yeah.
that'd be like her internal world and like what she's like externalizing with that all that Aries energy. And
I
like
see what you're
we're seeing it as like fun too, with that being in the fifth house, being
Yep.
cool about it.
Yep. Making light of it, right?
Yeah,
Making light of all that transformation and that deepness that she's been through.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's that's actual correspondence for real right there. Because with that moon and that Pluto, we know that's gonna take her through a lot of transformations when it comes to, her spirituality and her morals and her beliefs. And, kind of can like tap her into like the the subconscious as well. She's probably been through a lot of experiences in her life that, she came to the realization that, okay, I'm associated with such and such desires. I'm associated with such and such individuals that's kind of, that's kind of leaning more towards leaning towards like I'm gonna say darkness, kind of deep darkness. I'm
Mhm.
kind of I'm trying to pull this from the Pluto. I'm associated with individuals that's kind of leaning towards intrusiveness that can kind of open open a open the gate for intrusiveness to come into my life. So that's going to be dictating my experiences. But it's up to me as a spirit utilizing this to make light out of it, make fun out of it, and make it see how I can gravitate some form of attention from it. And that's like you were saying earlier, how that's going to be fueling her the Aries energy, the way that she's presenting it, the way that she's displaying it. Is it going to be displayed as anger or aggressiveness, or is it going to be displayed as passionate or and motivational?
Yeah. And I feel like too, it could have been easy for her to like stay in the lower octave energies due to like all the Aries stuff trining the Sagittarius energy or Moon and Pluto. Um, just because like there could have been opportunities for her to manifest while still staying in like a quote unquote lower octave type energy of like the Moon Pluto aspect.
Right.
Like then I had another thought too. Uh it had to do with that Mercury trying to the oh yeah, how you was talking about like her pulling from the darkness and being associated with it. Like the Moon Pluto aspects is like deals with like underworld and things like that. And like deals like how he was talking about transformation and like I think the term is like dark night of the soul or like something like that. But with her Mercury, like trying that, there's like um a sense of ease available to her. And it's up to her whether she wants to utilize it or not to transform, like to like intellectualize like what she needs to do in order to transform and like be able to take those steps to do that.
Right.
Bro, her chart is crazy, dude. Like, bro, she got
Yeah, she got
everything she needs.
start interesting chart for real.
Yeah. And then with that Mars and Taurus as well at 2 degrees, it's like her ways of like foundating herself and like structuring herself with because she doesn't have like a lot of earth energies. But I would argue that like because the Saturn is close to the sun and in the 10th house as well, that it's like she still has access to like grounding things and like that sort of thing into like grounding things into reality and things like that. But like I was saying before with that Mars and Taurus, like like her drive to like experience like a type of luxury or like her willing to get up and move in order to like manifest material type things that like will suit her senses and things like that can help with her like getting up and like using her energy to be like productive in like a business sense as opposed to
Right.
just being flunked out and like using her energies in whatever type of way to meet a desire.
Right. Right. And with that Mars being in Taurus as well, that's going to be really dictating a lot of her actions and what she's trying to strive for in this lifetime. And we can kind of say it's kind of conjuncting. It's kind of sharing the same energy because it's still on
Yeah.
that cusp. Um, so yeah, with that being her house lord as well in the 10th house, um, that luxury lifestyle and that luxury lifestyle is something that she's really trying to, pioneer. That's going to be something that she's really trying to pioneer with that Aries energy. So that's another good alignment that she has access to as well. But I'm gonna look at Saturn. I'm looking at Saturn real quick. With Saturn being there on her Sun and on her Mars and Mercury, she may get hit with a lot of restrictions and limitations and boundaries if she's not really assessing her energy in a sufficient way. Like looking at the if she kind of dibble and dabble more into the lower octave side of that Aries energy, not really being calculated and just like acting off impulse and acting off irrationality. That's when Saturn is going to be playing a part, and that's when she's going to start to flirt that Saturn energy, and that's when she may start to get hit with those restrictions and those boundaries because she's kind of giving more of her esoteric currency to the lower octave side of her energies. But if she can transmute that into the higher side of her energies, making it more of her passions and her motivations, then she may get, kind of blessed with those Saturn energies where she can actually materialize and manifest her creative endeavors into this reality as well. And that's going to help her solidify her Mars and Taurus so that she can have something to stand on when it comes to what she's trying to present herself as when it comes to her status in her business and what she's known for. Due to all those energies being in her 10th house area.
Yeah.
She's got a powerful alignment, some powerful houses for real.
Yeah. And then too, like, with that North Node being in Virgo, and like depending on like what degree it is, we don't know that. But making that like Yod two Aries with their Chiron and North Node and then all that stuff in Aries, it'll be like there's always like fuel for her to like utilize her like actions for like moving forward in the world. Or like moving forward in the world is like her arrow, so to say. Like the because the Yod makes that like type of triangle shape. So it's like that like forward type of direction. And then fueling that would be like her ability to initiate herself in spaces like activates by default that North Node in Virgo. And then if she has friends that we're talking about earlier that are also like of that Virgo type energy that like help egg her on and like being analytical about things and like knowing how to think about thinking about knowing how to use something like to its like utmost like efficiency is like I feel like what her like spiritual type like path would be with that North Node and Virgo. So like so long as she is like how you said being like the positive aspect of like her Saturn and like all that Aries energy and like being able to like move forward for the sake of like building something and not for the sake of like desire. It could be like her career could be like very like a spiritual type path because not everybody could have like a career that is like tied to the spirituality, so to say. Actually, that's kind of fun to say. I'm not gonna say that, but she could utilize her career for like the spiritual type path, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that Crown and Scorpio, like filling in the other leg of the yod, it'll be like her feelings of like hesitancy with like deep emotional connection because like she has been like scarred in the past with like that deep type of connection with the Chiron being in Scorpio. Hmm. I guess that like pushes her to like go off and experience new things
Right.
because like
Yep.
she probably
Yep.
has an internal knowing that like she wants that deep type of connection, but like it's like a uncomfortable isn't the word I'm looking for, but like you want something so bad that like no matter what feeling you have, like you're still gonna go for it. That's how I interpret it. But that probably could be like very helpful for her Moon Pluto aspect as well because of that Chiron and Scorpio being like in the Yod figure with the North Node, like her ability to like be like, oh fuck that emotion or whatever, or like maybe not fuck that emotion, but like be able to like hold it and still keep moving forward and being like, okay, I feel this and but I'm still gonna keep going after what I want because I know that it could be out there or that I could create it. Like that could help with the Moon Pluto like stagnancy and like wanting to be in the deep dark like swamps and things like that. So like,
Right.
bro, that's crazy how that could play into her like spiritual development as well. And
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that was deep. That was deep. Um, looking at it, I'm gonna try to follow up on what you were saying real quick with that Chiron being in Scorpio and that Moon and Pluto alignment. So it's kind of like fueling her the mistakes that she made when it comes to her deep passions and desires. The mistakes that she made from interacting and being aware of that's going to be fueling her to, step into something new, step into her power, step into her power basically with that yo being there, step into her power where she may not have seen it before. She may not have seen that route before. The reason that she may not have seen that route before because she wasn't, taking action on that. So as long as she take action on those experiences and not let those experiences create turbulent situations or stagnant energies into her life, and being able to transmute that into her favor, that's gonna help her with her status, and that status is gonna help her spirituality, her spiritual path out. Because with that North Node being in Virgo, creating that sextile with Chiron, she's gonna be creating a lot of opportunities whenever she dive into her bag of going for her spiritual path and learning her capabilities and her incapabilities. She may come across and it may create events where she may feel vulnerable or feel like she's not making the right decisions or feel like the decisions that she have made are kind of putting a blemish on her status. But those actual decisions that she's made that she thinks putting a blemish on her status is going to be the actual things that's going to be helping her with her status in the long run because of that yod and her kind of developing and learning her capabilities and her incapabilities when it comes to that area of life of the 10th house in the third and fourth.
yeah. And then too, to add on to what you're saying about like her like not knowing if she made like the right decision, like in dealing with her status and things like that. Like when she like gets past that, like bro, like nothing could touch her. Cause like that 10th house lord being in the 10th house, like she has like full control of that arena. So like, bro, she'll be like unstoppable for real. Like no force could like if anything like over like takes her is because some part of her allowed that to happen. Like I
Right.
don't see no like I was about to say I don't see any like anything in her chart that would make her like be like taken advantage of. But I would like argue that Neptune in the seventh like might be something that like or things can be out of balance within her relationships. So I don't want to say that she couldn't be taken advantage of. But nah, she's an Aries, bro. She ain't getting taken advantage of.
Yeah,
But I guess it go either way, you know. Hmm.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's kind of like brushing it off, keep it moving type of energy. But that is one thing that she does need to kind of look out for with the Neptune being in her seventh house. It's like the only kind of detriment planet that she does have, Neptune being in there. So she may be developing a lot of illusions when it comes to her relationships, not sure relate on a one-on-one basis. But if she can check that energy and really like get a grasp of that energy, then she's kind of unstoppable when it comes to her position and her being a female rapper, especially during these times, because they're gonna be looking at her like with the Birdman hands. Like we kind of looking at her with the Birdman hands right now. Like, okay, this is what she's doing, this is what she's presenting. We finna capitalize off her.
Right.
So she got that type of energy. She got the energy of like, okay, you can capitalize off me, but you're not finna take advantage of me because I still have an understanding of who I am. And I still know what I'm here for and my purpose. And I still got a mission that I gotta do. So as long as they keep her in keep her in a spotlight in a way, as long as they keep her in a spotlight, she's gonna continuously to fuel that image, continuously fuel that golem, and continuously to fuel what they want her to be presenting to us, so that we can start gravitating our attention towards what they want us to direct our attention to when it comes to the female rappers in the industry and the type of stature and type of reputation they're trying to give them. But yeah, she's like playing a big role right now. Like
Yeah.
she's playing a big role right now when it comes to the industry and how female rappers are being presented in the industry.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was talking about like they're still able to capitalize off her, but she'll stay like still be able to not be taken advantage of. So that's like how you were saying, that's like perfect for like quote unquote them to use like her as a like um a cash cow, so to say, right? Like be able to profit off of her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she needs some astrologers. She needs some astrologers in her team so she can know this stuff.
Yeah, she need to call us.
Because the seventh house is how she can kind of get compromised. I'm just looking at it's how she can get compromised. But then again, with Uranus being there, she's still going to be able to decipher between if these individuals that she are in relations to are they helpful or harmful to what she's trying to build and what she's trying to construct for herself. But she still has the possibility of getting compromised if she's not been aware of that energy, and if she's not been aware of her house lord, which is in the eighth house. So, you know, developing those connections behind the scenes and making sure that she's shaking the right hands and making sure that she's signing the right contracts and negotiating the right deals. Because the seventh house also deals with negotiations as well. So she got to make sure that the contracts that she are negotiating with have something that's going to be, useful to her and something that she can utilize to capitalize from when it comes to her actions and her viewpoints. But she got to get a little bit more into depth. She may have to get a little bit more into depth when it comes to those negotiations that she's are making. And when she are, creating those genuine connections with the people, places, and things that she is networking with, so that she can be able to see if these people are genuine or if these people have like an alternative motive behind what they're trying to present for her to sign and the contracts that she's signing and stuff.
Yeah, I like that you said contracts too, because the fact that her seventh house starts in Capricorn, like people like it's probably been like relationships that came to her that like are like contractual, are like a you give me this, I'll give you this, and then we're good. Like type of energy. Like maybe like I mean that's not always like quote unquote bad, like a contractual type of thing, but it could be like a using type of energy. Then but we were
Right.
talking about how she wouldn't be used. But that actually kind of like gives like adds more layers to it, like a nuance because of it being in Capricorn, the descendant. And like then that makes me think. I can't put it together right now, but that makes it a little more deep.
Yeah. I just peeped it. I just peeped it. I was looking at it. I was like, hold on. She got Venus in the eighth. All right. So she's gonna be dealing with some manipulators in her circle.
Yeah.
So she may have some manipulators in her circle as well. That's just looking at her like a cash cow. So that's gonna be her having to kind of like understand her energy a little bit. And know that the position that she's in is gonna have like a effect on people. So her understanding that the people that she is networking with, some of those people may not be as genuine as she perceive it to be. So that's going to be compromising her seventh house in her relationship. And also that's going to be compromising her individuality as well. Because with her Neptune, with her Uranus being in the seventh house in Aquarius, and Uranus likes to be in Aquarius.
Mm.
With it being in the seventh house in Aquarius, she already have this. She already have like this identity built on who she is. Like kind of like she already know herself in a kind of way. Like because I got Uranus in Aquarius. It's like she already kind of know herself in a way, and that's gonna be broadcasted to like, okay, I'm trying to see how I'm gonna put this. I'm trying to see how I'm gonna put this. Okay, it's like that's
Yeah.
gonna be broadcasted because she know herself. That's gonna be broadcasted amongst generations because we know that Uranus is generational. So she's gonna be like a pillar of this generation and how this generation of female artists were. So that's
Yeah.
gonna be playing a part as well.
I see what you're saying. Like they could like utilize her as like a sense of like an image to show like how to relate, like being able to like being like that idol type of figure. So like her relationships would be like in the public and like be seen for people to relate to. And like, and whenever people like relate to things in the media and things like that, you tend to like correlate it to like shadow work type energy where like you think about your life and how you relate to what you're seeing on the phone, what you're seeing in like the media and things like that. Like that's only like natural because of like the connection and things like that with like the media. But yeah, they would utilize her as like a means to like give news ways of relating and things like that.
Yeah,
I just remember too in that interview she had with Theo Von, she was like because like that dude Theo Von, he was like he said he was trying to have like a kid or something like that. And then she told him, she was like, well, go ahead, get you a baby mama, just get it over with. Like, like the traditional role is to like get married and like have like a kid or whatever. But she was like, no, I just like just fuck on something and get like have a baby mama. Like she didn't say that, but I don't think she said don't fuck on something. I don't think she said just go fuck on something, but like she just like said something like absurd like that, just have a kid. But
yeah,
she followed up with like, no, go ahead and get married if like you want to. Like that's that second line where she followed up with like, go ahead and get married. Like it would be good to have a family. That's that Jupiter and Venus and Pisces talking. But that go ahead and have the baby. That's that Uranus in the seventh he was talking about like uh
right, right.
unique with
I
like
get that.
relationships and things like that. And it's also
Yeah,
that Aries just being like just saying something.
right. Being real unconventional when it comes to the way that she relate and come across. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I can see. Okay, all right. What else she got going on? Uh, I think we don't. I think we kind of touched everything.
Yeah. I was trying to think of more stuff, but hmm. Right. It
She
was
got those empty houses.
what you say?
Oh, she got empty houses.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, dude, with her second house lord, because it's Leo in the second house, being in the 10th house, like that only adds like what we were saying about like her status being like foundating herself in the world, like the way she would like materialize things, second house, and like be able to obtain wealth and like have like a sense of security would be based upon like how she utilizes her sun and like her awareness and like what she pushes out. So like, bro, she was made for this, bro. She was made for this.
Right. Yeah, and she didn't even know it. She just stumbled into it, just expressing
Yeah,
herself well. Yeah,
naturally. Wow, that's crazy, bro. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. The Aries energy is crazy because it kind of gives us that sense of they kind of corresponded and correlated to like being a baby and like being naive and like just like stumbling into something and not really having any expectation of like the outcome or the event. So I kind of feel like she was in that bag a little bit when it comes to just like her expressing herself. So she was just like expressing herself and just like doing things that she loved, you know, just like doing things that she's passionate about and ended up stumbling to success. That kind of plays out that tarot card, the food tarot card. That number one tarot card, when they be like, okay, you can being a fool, you can be a fool. The positive side is you can be a fool but stumbling to success. And the negative side is you can be a fool and just be seen as a naive person. We can kind of see it played out positive for her because she was just kind of, you know, in her Aries energy, giving birth to stuff and not really having like any expectation. Because from the interview that we talked about earlier, and ended up, you know, stumbling into success. So that kind of how they can utilize her for that tarot card as well, that food tarot card, the number one tarot card.
Hell yeah. And then too, I didn't even make this connection to it right now when he was talking. But if her north node is in the third house, then that would like give the quote unquote reason to like her saying like her friends like told her to I don't know if I said this in the video, but in the interview she said like her friends told her to like start putting out like more music and things like that. And like her friends was like getting like the music around. So like that's that north node like being in the third house, like her connections like to like friends and like her surroundings and things like that like pushed her to like move forward with like her expansion of energy.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, I don't even know how long we've been talking.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah,
I think we kind of got the energy out. We kind of got it out.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I have anything more. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
All
that's
right.
red.
So
That's how she kind of like got in the position that she's in now. Uh, Hopefully they come across this video, kind of fuck with us a little bit. You know, they need some astrologers
yeah.
to. We are valuable. But
Uh
yeah,
will be that Virgo North Node giving you that analyzation and intellect about what to utilize, you know? So hit us up. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. And you want to tell them where they could follow you at?
oh, y'all can find me on Instagram at WhoEli360. Y'all can find me on TikTok and Twitter and YouTube at WhoEli360. And y'all can also check out my music on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube at WhoEli360.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the links in the description of the video. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Peace.
I don't even know how to stop the record. Okay, here we go.